watching Sports Beat.
All right, it was a doubleheader day of college hoops in Vivint Smart Home Arena for the second annual Beehive Classic. First up, the rivals, BYU and Utah. And look what Larry Kraskowiak brought out. Of course, the old red coat for this matchup. And in the first 8 minutes was a scoring battle between Yoli Childs and the Utes. Childs with a freebie to give BYU a 1-point lead. But Cedric Bearfield comes right back on the other end, buries the three for a Utah 2-point lead. Now back to Childs. Going inside, hanging, scoring. Yoli Childs 12, Utah 10 to start the game. Later in the first, Riley Batten, right down the barrel, he's got to look, and he drains the three. Utah now has a 3-point lead. But then the Cougars would go on an 8-0 run. Connor Harding, 3-ball. BYU with a 4-point lead at the half. Cougars would come out of the locker room, man, they would get it going. Zach Celius, he had a nice afternoon. The lead up to 9, Zach finished with 14. TJ Haas, he'll take the three. BYU opens the second half on a 13-0 run to build the lead to 17. The Utes finally got on the board 6 minutes into the second half. Donnie Tillman drains the 3-ball. Utes cut the lead to 11 when Childs says, all right, get out of my way. Childs wanted to go to Utah, but he was never offered a scholarship. So how do you like me now, your Yoliness? Back to TJ Haas. 3-ball, the foul. It's a 4-point play. That ups the lead to 17. Haas with 18. Then to finish off a huge day, Yoli tips in his 31st point to go along with 11 rebounds. How do you like me now? Third straight game with 31 for Childs. Cougars beat the Utes by 15.
You know, you don't have to be rocket science to figure out what was working for us, to start the game.
Yo's got a pass to the hoop and hammers it home.
Heck of a player, and he's just playing with a lot of confidence. I think he had their first 8 or 10 points. That's what being a good team is, and he's there head of the snake, no doubt about it, and he put it on us and did what you're supposed to do in an in-state rivalry game. When you're an in-state kid, he rose to the occasion, and we didn't have many answers for it.
You know, everybody wants to say it's just another game, right? But it's a big rivalry game, and it means a lot. I look at a lot of the fans in the state and how much these games mean to them. And it's a game where you go out and you lose, and you got a bunch of little kids that are sat at home all night. It's a little bit more than your average game, and you got to think about the fans, and it makes you really happy to make them proud.
You don't want to make little kids cry, and he didn't today. Second game, Weber State, Utah State. Aggies open up with a 9-0 run. Nehemias Queta hammers it 2. Queta also passing very well for a big. Sam Merrill finishes off, and Merrill continues the run. Aggies led by 18 in the first half. Wildcats finally discover their offense. Cody John, nice move, aggressive, gets the hoop and the foul. He had 16. Rakat Chapman, 3 of his 11. He also had 11 boards. The Aggie lead was down to 12 at the half. In the second, Queta again. He had 13 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks. And Tarion Knight coming off the bench with 10, including that catch and scoop. The Aggie lead back up to 17. Wildcats keep fighting, though. Caleb Nero comes off the bench, and that is a huge 3. He had 15. Then Braxton Miller. And with that, the lead is down to 6 with only 4 minutes left. Miller with 14, but the Wildcats rally, running out of time. Brock Miller with a dagger. Utah State gets the 9-point win to move to 8-2. Wildcats fall to 5-4.
It was a good W for us, we didn't play so well earlier in the night, or earlier in the week, and it was a good bounce-back game for us.
Against a really good Utah State team that has a bunch of veterans, you better have that energy and juice, and they were able to get away from us in the first half.
Weber's a good basketball team, and we knew we were going to have to defend really well. Wednesday was a tough night for us, losing at BYU. We felt confident going into that game and got boat raced a little bit, so we're really happy with the way we responded today against a good Weber team, and happy we were able to get a win.
Meanwhile, Southern Utah at Central Michigan in the MAC. SUU in the black jerseys. T-Birds Harrison Butler, that two-hander slammer. He finished with the 12 points. T-Birds played from behind the entire way. 3 seconds left. That's Jason Richardson, 3 of his 22. But the Thunderbirds lose to Central Michigan by 9. Utah Valley at Northern Arizona. 4-point lead at the half, turning into a blowout for Utah Valley in the second half. Jake Toulson nails the 3. And then here comes Isaiah White. Hello, he led Utah Valley with 19. Wolverines cruise to the 20-point win in Flagstaff. All right, NCAA Volleyball Tournament, Elite 8. BYU hosting Texas in the Smith Fieldhouse in Provo, and a spot in next week's Final Four on the line tonight. And it was the Ronnie Jones-Perry show for BYU. Cougars on the left. Mary Lake with a dig sets up the kill by Jones-Perry. Set point in the first. Jones Perry, the little floater. So we go to the second set. Set up for Jones Perry again. The kill. She had 11 kills in the second set alone. BYU trailed 20-18 in the third after a 4-1 run. That makes it 22-21 Cougars. Then on match point, who else would it be besides Ronnie Jones Perry? 25 of BYU's 51 kills in the match from Jones Perry. BYU is in the Final Four. They'll play Thursday in Minneapolis against the winner of Penn State and Stanford.
I just want to thank our crowd and our community and our students for coming out. What a great match to be a part of, and we really appreciate the support. And it was awesome to be able to host these two rounds in Provo, Utah. So we feel really grateful and fortunate that we were able to play here in Provo.
We're a fighting team and we're resilient, and you probably hear it from us a lot, but we do a good job at staying in the present and just having a next ball focus and focusing on what we want to do on that next touch.
Women's basketball, BYU and Utah in the Huntsman Center. Cougars Paisley Johnson in the second quarter. Cougars were down 34-31 at the half, but in the second half, Megan Huff was lights out. She dropped in 28 as Utah goes on a 12-0 run. That was the difference. Utes beat the Cougars by 11. Sorry, Dave. The match Real Salt Lake would like to have been in tonight, the MLS Cup. Portland Timbers in Atlanta, 30th minute. Joseph Martinez for Atlanta takes advantage of a little sloppy defense into the net, 1-0 Atlanta. 54th minute off the free kick, Franco Escobar beats former RSL keeper Jeff Attanella, 2-0. That's the way it ended in Atlanta. In only his second year in the MLS, takes home the cup. Oklahoma's Kyler Murray wins the Heisman today, beating out Bama QB Tua Tagovailoa and Ohio State's Dwayne Haskins. And it looks like Utah State's search for a new head coach to replace Matt Wells is over. Last night, Yahoo Sports reporting that the Aggies have stopped all interviews, which would lead us to believe that Gary Anderson is the guy. And today, more reports that a deal has been finalized for Anderson to return to Logan, where he was the head coach from 2009 to 2012.